I've been taking YouTube seriously since the start of the year, and recently I reached 1,000 subscribers here on the channel. So first of all, I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who's supported the channel so far. I did a calculation and over 80% of my clients come from YouTube, and I've made over £25,000 directly from leads that have come from YouTube. In this video, I want to show you why I think YouTube is the best platform for agencies and the content system that I use to reach 1,000 subscribers. Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Sam and I help agency owners scale to 100k per month and beyond without sacrificing your freedom. So without further ado, let's dive into the video. The benefits of creating content for your agency. So there are three main benefits that come with creating content for your agency. Benefit number one, content creation enables inbound leads. This means you can reach people at scale without having to individually directly contact them. Benefit number two is that developing a personal brand will actually make it easier to close deals, and that's for two reasons. First of all, you're going to build authority in your market, and secondly, you're going to build trust with your customers. This basically means that by the time someone actually gets to joining you on a sales call, they feel that you are a figure of authority, but they also have built a level of trust with you because they feel like they've spent time with you by watching your videos online. Benefit number three is that by creating content on YouTube, you amplify all other methods of marketing. So for example, if you have setters, if they're reaching out to potential clients, the clients already again have that sense of trust and authority associated with you, and so it feels less of a salesy call. Why YouTube is the ultimate channel. So hopefully now you can see the benefits of creating content for your agency, but why do I think YouTube is the best channel to do it on? Well, firstly, we spoke about the fact that creating content builds trust and authority, and I think YouTube is the best platform to do this on because actually seeing someone's face on camera is the quickest and fastest way to building trust with them. By literally sitting down face to face with a camera as if you're having a conversation with someone is like being in the room with them. And so it surpasses any other form of content when it comes to building trust. As well as that, YouTube is the second world's largest search engine after Google. And that's important because generally the content that you'll be making for your agency is how-to content. And so when people are searching on how to do something or find something out, generally they're going into two places. They're going online on Google or they're going to YouTube. And so making content on the platform that people are using to search things is a really powerful way to find traffic. And finally, YouTube has a higher barrier to entry for other creators. And that might seem like a bad thing, but the fact that you have to actually set up a camera, you have to get the composition right, you have to do the lighting, you have to create the thumbnails, all of this is a lot of work that other agency owners won't be willing to do. And just by actually creating the YouTube videos and making the effort to do them, you stand ahead of your competition, and it's a lot easier, I've found, to grow an audience on YouTube by putting in a bit more effort than it is to grow on something like a LinkedIn or a X/Twitter. What content to make? So you're convinced that content is important and you're convinced that YouTube is the best place to make it on, but what types of content should you be making anyway? Well, broadly, there are two buckets or two types of content that you can make. There is top of funnel content and then there is bottom of funnel content. So when we're referring to funnel, we're talking about the sales funnel, and that is essentially the idea that at the very top of the funnel, you have a bigger audience and they have a general interest in the thing you're talking about. And as you go further down the funnel, it niches down and you have a smaller audience that are interested in more nuanced parts of what you are offering and the knowledge you're providing. And so essentially these two buckets of content that you're making are basically positioned towards those two different types of audiences. So top of funnel is going to be more mainstream, it's going to be of interest to more people, and it's going to basically drive traffic to your channel and basically try to net in as many people as possible. And then bottom of funnel content is going to be the more specific, more nuanced content that is actually about your specific niche, your specific ICP, ideal client profile, and the specific people you're trying to actually sell to. And so essentially you're catching everyone with the top of funnel content, and then you're finally delivering the final sale or targeting the people at the bottom. Now, within those two different funnels, you can focus on content pillars. And essentially, content pillars are topics that you again and again revisit. Now, you might question what your pillar should be, but I've got a quick shortcut to finding out exactly what you should be focusing on. And that is your ICP's pain points. So whoever your ideal client is, take a look at what their pain points are and then make content around them as topics. So I have some examples from my own channel here. My Notion for Agencies template tour is what I would describe as a top of the funnel piece of content. It got 12,000 views, and the reason it's top of funnel is that Notion, the software, is quite mainstream, is quite trendy. Lots of people are interested in it, and so that captured lots of attention. And then in comparison to that, I have another video here called Systemize Your Agency Process Mapping Part 1, and that's only had 400 views, and I'd say that's bottom of funnel because that's targeting specifically agencies, but also the idea of systematization, process mapping, all of this sort of industry knowledge is a bit more specific, a bit more nuanced, and therefore bottom of funnel. My YouTube content system. So now let's jump into the fun part, and I'm going to show you my exact system that I use to earn my first 1,000 subscribers. And of course, it starts with a process map here on my screen. So this is the full process I have created over time after making 26, 27 YouTube videos. And we're going to start from the bottom, or from the top, I should say, and go through. So in the first stage, we have capturing ideas, and I don't have much of a process for this, except from that I have a specific area where I know I can capture ideas as they come. And then this process essentially starts with the process beginning every 3 weeks. So every 3 weeks, I make a batch of 3 videos, and I've been trying to be consistent with that as I do it every 3 weeks. And so then the process really begins with picking 3 videos from my ideas list, and I try to pick 1 top of funnel idea and 2 bottom of funnel ideas. I then have an automation that creates a video folder for all of the assets that we're going to create. And then I also will finalize both the video title and give thumbnail suggestions to my thumbnail designer. Now, this is something I stole from Thomas Frank, who said it's important to actually come up with the ideas or the title for your video and the thumbnail for your video before actually scripting the video. And that's because in terms of YouTube best practice, you always want to know exactly what the thumbnail is going to be, what the title is going to be. That's the thing that's hooking people's interest and getting them to click into the video. And so you want to make sure that your actual video that you end up creating is exactly what it's offering or what it's promising from the thumbnail and the title. If you do it after the video has been created, there tends to be a slight disconnect between the thumbnail and the actual video itself. At this prep stage, I'll also write the video description and the end screen and CTA. So the end screen is basically the video that's going to pop up at the very end of the video, and hopefully they're going to click onto the next video and keep staying on my channel. And then the call to action might be if I have a lead magnet that I'm offering at the video, at the end of video, if I'm asking them to click on a particular link in the video description, that sort of thing. I want to decide exactly what that is now before we begin. Then I'm going to drag my project or projects into the thumbnail stage, and that is going to set an automation to notify my thumbnail editor to begin work. So he is going to create the thumbnails, he's going to send them to me, and then if I approve them, we'll move on to the next stage. But of course, if I have revisions, I will say no, and that will go back to revising, and that's just a loop until I'm happy with the thumbnails. Then we would move into script, and I essentially have 3 drafts of the script, and this is essentially each week I have a block in my calendar to write the videos, and I generally either write 1 video per week, or I will do sort of iterations of all 3 scripts in those 3 different sessions. But I always do 3 drafts, and I've always found that's enough time for me to create good enough scripts, but also stay in this this cycle of making 3 batches of videos every 3 weeks. Once I've scripted the videos, I'm now ready to record them. And then once I have recorded them, I would upload the video and audio files into that video folder. We then move on to editing, and that starts with a automation that notifies my video editor to begin editing. He will obviously edit the videos. I will approve them or I won't approve them, and he will revise the videos as and when is needed. And then finally, my video editor will actually upload the videos for me with the video description, the end screen, everything that was decided beforehand, and the video is eventually published. So that's the full process. Now let's look at all of the software, automation, documentation, and delegation that powers this content system. So starting with the software, of course, we're using Notion, and I have my content dashboard here, and it's a pretty simple setup. It's just one database called content with several different views. So first of all, we have that ideas view that I spoke about. And so this is the area that I know I can capture ideas as soon as I have them nice and easily. And then also we have those pillars that I was talking about. So we can see if something is top of funnel or bottom of funnel, and we can also see which pillar it comes from. Interestingly, I also have my ideal client profile over here on this page. And amongst some other things, you can see I have my clients' problems and solutions list. And so the tags that are inside here are pretty much made up of the list over there on the ICP. So we have the ideas in here, and then once I've decided on the ideas, they get moved over, they get given a publish date first of all, so I can see the different schedule for my different projects at a high level. And then they also get moved over into my production line here, which is a nice pipeline view of all of the things in here. Inside of each of these pages, we have a database template that has been set up that has all of the things I need to basically manage the projects. So first of all, we have the thumbnail and title. So this is where I give suggestions for the thumbnail to my thumbnail editor, and I also will brainstorm ideas for the title and finally decide on the ultimate title for this video. We then have the description and end screen. So as I said, the description gets written in the prepping stage, and I have this block here that acts as a bit of a template. And the only thing I need to edit here from this video description is these brackets here. So I don't have to rewrite the video description each time and find all these different links for my templates and recommended tools. It's all here for my video editor to copy when it comes to publishing, and I just have to edit one little bracket. And then we also have, as I said, the end screen, so deciding what is that video that's going to appear at the end, and I obviously want to make sure I know what that is so I can talk about it in the video at the very end of the video. And then finally in this template, we have the script. So I have a basic template for the script writing, which is having a hook, having an intro that I say at the start of all my videos that you'll probably recognize, and this is where it sits in the sort of script. The value is basically the meat and potatoes of the video, and generally I will break my videos down into sets of 3 because that's just how people like to understand information. And then at the end of the video, I normally have a call out to my lead magnet, and again at that next video. So all of this is templatized for me. In the properties, we have that pillar, we have the publish date, we have a link to the thumbnail. So the thumbnail gets attached here, and then this is what you see in the gallery view here, which is nice just for me and the team to really visually see what's happening. And this property here is really just for the video folder automation, but basically we just want to have a number for each of the videos that we make. We have quite a few automations at play here. First of all, natively inside of Notion, we have 3 automations set up. The first one is in the idea stage, when we assign a publish date to a video. So that is basically when I've formally decided that I've planned ahead, I'm going to make this video to be published on this date, then that is considered that it's no longer an idea and it's given the tag of to prep automatically and moved into the production pipeline. So that's one automation. We then have the notification automations. So once the video is moved into thumbnail, it notifies my thumbnail editor and it asks with the message, please create a thumbnail for this video. And then the exact same thing happens for my editor. So when the status is moved into edit, he gets a notification and it says, please edit this video. We also have one external automation using Make, and this is just to create the folders for the videos. And so essentially it's watching for the database items in Notion to be given the status of to thumbnail, and then it's going to create a Google folder in my Google Drive, and then it's also going to update my video page with a link to the folder. And so that is exactly what you can see over here. this all happened automatically. The video folder was created and then linked to it. And then that allows both my thumbnail editor and my video editor to be able to easily upload their final assets. For documentation, I essentially have two very simple SOPs that have been set up for both my thumbnail editor and my video editor. So starting with the thumbnails, you can see here we have the context of why we have this SOP, and it's essentially the main goal we have is we want to get people to click my videos. I talk about the trigger being when the video is set to thumbnail, and that he will generally receive the videos in 3 to 4 video batches, and that the outcome should be once the video thumbnail has been created, approved, attached to the video page in the content page, and uploaded in the video folder in Google Drive. So he knows exactly what success looks like when he has successfully performed his process. And then the steps are nice and simple. So he opens the video that are inside the thumbnail stage. He goes to the prep toggle to find the instructions. He creates one thumbnail per video. And then within each of the steps, I might have some more information underneath the toggles. And so this is all pretty self-explanatory. I've added some screenshots wherever it's necessary and some additional detail. And then I do have an FAQ section, but I haven't needed to use it yet. If he had any more questions for me, I would answer them, and then I'd also drop them in this SOP so that in the future, if I hire someone else, the questions that are commonly coming up, we can sort of solve straight away. Now for my video editor, we have the exact same thing, but inside this step 2 toggle, I actually have an entire editing guide or reference guide for him as well. So the step is to edit the video following guidelines. And then we have the reference guide inside of here. And so essentially it's saying, based on what the thing is, this is how I want it to look. So first of all, for the A-roll cut, I want to make sure that the A-roll cut, which is essentially the talking head piece without any B-roll, just the plain raw footage of me talking, I'd basically just want that to be as tight as possible with no pauses, no ums, that kind of thing. And then the other stuff we have here, for example, I have lots of these split screen frames. And so I've shown the editor exactly this type of split screen frame I want when we're doing screen recording. So screen recording frames should look like this with this background, with this sort of talking head piece, and with these rounded edges screen recording effect. And then what I've also said in these instructions is that when I'm giving notes to the editor, when he sends me the video files, I will call what I want exactly by the same names as it is in this editing guideline. So if I say, oh, it would be good to have a screen recording frame here, this is exactly what I'm talking about, and he knows that because of the SOP that I've created. Some other examples here, we have, for example, titles. So for the name card, I like how Ali Abdul does his name cards, so I've added that as a reference here. I've also, for all of these references, got links to the videos and the timestamps, so he can go in and see not only how it looks, but also potentially the movement of the different effects, any sound effects that are there. And basically this reference guide is, if it looks and sounds like that, I want it to be the same in my video. The final thing that I've not quite finished yet, but I'd love to have, is in the music toggle, having some improved music tracks. And so we have a long archive of all the tracks we've used and ones that I like, and that would be really helpful for my editors in the future if I can eventually finish that. And then the final thing was delegation. So I haven't really spoken about this, but I've talked about my video editor and my thumbnail editor. And I want to talk to the power of actually outsourcing these two jobs if you actually want to take YouTube seriously. In the start, it's fine to try and edit your own videos and create your own thumbnails, but it's a lot of work to do, and you'll struggle to stay consistent if you're having to spend all that time editing your videos yourself. So if you do want to get serious about YouTube, my strong recommendation is to hire a video editor. And here are some tips for how to train them and delegate the task of video editing. So when I hired my video editor, I basically gave them a trial job. And it was one video, I paid them for it, but I basically wanted to see how good they were. And I didn't do this just for one video editor. I actually tried 5 different video editors all at the same time, all with the same video. Now, this is quite an extreme way of basically seeing which video editor you want, and it does cost a lot of money. And you might also say I could have had them all edit 5 different videos, so at least I got 5 different videos coming back to me. But I specifically wanted to see how they would all handle the same footage and who was the best. So that was my trial, and I did it with 5 editors, and then I picked the best one, who is my video editor now. And then once we had that trial and I knew it was him, the next thing I did was gave him really detailed feedback on the video that he created. I'd given him complete freedom for this particular video, and so I wanted to give specific feedback back. And I actually have the first bit of feedback I gave to him in the SOP is here. So I have a full video walkthrough, Loom video, where I went through the actual cut itself and spoke about things I liked and then things I didn't like. And then once I had finished this, I then went through and created this entire SOP guide, and then I asked him to take a look at it, give me feedback on the SOP and the guideline, and if there's any suggestions he would have for his own input to the videos. And then basically I had him agree that he's read through it and he understands it. And so the next video that he made it and he did the first cut, and I pretty much had 2 or 3 comments about the video because we went through this really robust, watertight sort of feedback process for the very first video. And he was also the best video editor because I gave the trial to 5 different video editors. So now you understand why content is so important, why YouTube is the best channel, and hopefully how you can create your own content system. But if you would like to skip the process of creating this for yourself, you can actually take a look at my Notion for Agencies Notion template with the link in the video description. It's been trusted by over 270 different agencies, and inside of that we have a content system as well as a whole bunch of other things. If you'd like to learn more about using this systems thinking process for other areas of your business, you can check out my Systemize Your Agency mini course here or here to see the exact 3-step process that I take for systematizing any part of my client's business. And if you found this video useful, please do consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel for more. Until next time, bye-bye.